Hi everyone and welcome back. I was using for almost 2 years the Corsair Harpoon Wireless mouse in my main workstation, and it served me well, not only in gaming or photo video editing sessions, but also in my daily office remote working. Let's say it was a good all-arounder. But let's see if the Corsair Sabre Pro Wireless will do any better than the Harpoon and which one you should choose. The Harpoon Wireless is a claw mouse with 6 programmable buttons. It has an optical sensor, the PMW3325, with 10,000 dpi, a polling rate up to 1000 Hz, and the home-run mouse buttons are tested for about 50 million right and left clicks. You can connect it to your PC in 3 different ways, with a 2.5 GHz slipstream receiver, Bluetooth, and wire it with a micro USB cable, still. It has RGB too, and the weight is about 99 grams. Speaking about the battery, Corsair claims that the mouse connected with a slipstream receiver lasts 45 hours more or less if the RGB is off. Surprisingly, in my experience, it lasts even more than 50 hours. As we can see, the Harpoon is a claw mouse and the material are good plastics, I have to say. There is a rubber on both sides for more grip. And on this side there are 2 programmable buttons. I have to say that I don't like them that much. You can continuously press accidentally those buttons almost anytime. From the design we can see that is typical a right hand mouse, so keep in mind that too. In my use, the right and left click buttons, even after a long gaming sessions, didn't have too many fingerprints on it. A weird thing I do notice on the left button is sometimes a double click or a missing click, which is strange. But other than that, the rest of the buttons are precise enough. Underneath, there is the storage for the USB receiver and the button to switch from the slipstream receiver to Bluetooth, and also to turn off the mouse that you can use while connected with a USB cable. Even being a claw mouse for small hand size, it has an important weight of 99 grams, which to some of you might be okay, and for others, used to lighter mouse, might be heavier. But that doesn't seem to affect the reactivity and the movement, at least in my user experience. The pads underneath are well made and help you a lot with all the movements and the dragging. Alright guys, for getting all the full potential of this mouse, you have to download and install the iCue software, so you can go through some settings and customizations. The first thing that we can see here is the key assignment, so you can choose for which one or for each one of these keys to remap them and to assign certain actions. So let's say we want to launch an app whenever we press a key, so let's select for example this key here, make an example, and we want, every time we press that key, we want to open the notepad. So for example, if I press that key, it's going to open the notepad. So you can remap all the keys with all these actions here. I'm not going to go in all details. You can go crazy with all the customizations, all the maps. So you can decide to switch from one profile to iCue to the other one, and also you can record also some macros. The next menu is the lighting effects. You can decide what kind of lighting effects you want on the mouse, or you can decide to turn it off completely. And here you can choose the DPI stages. There are 6 of them. You can change the name as far as I know. So you have stage 1, stage 2, up to stage 6, which they have called the sniper because this is the slowest one. You can also double click here and change the DPIs for whatever value you want, and you can also choose whatever color you want to set up, or whatever time whenever you press the button is going to change to that color, so you associate that color to what stage you are choosing to. You can decide also to set, for example, this one as a default stage. So whatever you connect the mouse to the computer is going to apply that profile, that DPI profile as a default. And the last sub-menu is the device settings. We can check for the firmware update. We can decide the polling rate, which actually is 1000 Hz. The slipstream wireless polling rate here is 800 because I've connected also my headset on the same key, on the same receiver. So that is going to change if you are connecting, as the description said, if you are connecting other devices to the same receiver. Here we have the status, the brightness, and here we have the sleep mode in case you want to save some power while you're not using the mouse. Here you decide if to show the battery notification area, and here if you want to pair another device. One thing I recommend guys is the button response optimization. Is going to optimize whatever the buttons you are pressing and reducing the delay of those buttons. Speed, I leave it as default as it is. I'm not going to change that. So that was quickly for some settings. You can customize it as much as you want, so you can go crazy with all the settings and also with all the key assignments. Before moving on with some details about the Sabre Pro Wireless, I wanted to let you know guys that I did pay with my own money for both the Harpoon and Sabre Pro, so I would much appreciate if you leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. This will help the channel a lot and allow me to bring more content like this. Thank you so much. Now let's check out some details about the Sabre Pro Wireless. This is a palm claw mouse with 7 programmable buttons. It has an optical sensor, the Marksman 26K, with 26,000 dpi and a polling rate of 2000 Hz. Also here there are the Omron buttons, which are tested for 50 million right-left clicks. You can connect it to your PC in 3 different ways, with a 2.4 GHz slipstream receiver, the Bluetooth, and wire it with a USB Type-C cable, finally. It has RGB2, and the weight is 79 grams, really good for a mouse with this dimension and in this category. The battery of this mouse, while connected to the slipstream receiver, should last around 60 hours, if the RGB is off. Also here, as happened with a Harpoon, I managed to get almost 72 hours with one charge, so more than what Corsair claims. Keep in mind that these results might change depending on how and with what settings you are using it. The Sabre Pro Wireless is a palm mouse with a length of 129mm and with a maximum height of 43mm. The materials are made by good plastics. On the side there are 2 programmable buttons. I have to say that these 2 buttons are in the right position and easy to reach and use. From the design we can see that this is typically a right hand mouse, so keep in mind that too. The material used here is going to prevent any fingerprints even after long sessions. The weight of Sabre Pro Wireless is 79 grams, which means, in terms of ergonomics, you are going to feel it less during long gameplay sessions or in everyday use. The pads underneath, which are replaceable, are well done and helpful with all the movements and reduce the drag in. And also for Sabre Pro Wireless guys, you have to download and install the iCue software in order to get the most deep settings of the mouse. So let's go quickly on the settings. Okay, thank you for remembering me this. Here we have the key assignments. Again, as we have been using on the Harpoon, you can change here you can assign and change the actions on all the buttons. It's the same menu as we have been seeing on the Harpoon, so nothing changes here. And here we have the hardware key assignments. So considering that this mouse is saving 3 different profiles inside itself, you have the chance here to assign the key assignments using iCue, or if you close iCue, you are going to have those key assignments inside the mouse itself. So you can open iCue for setting all the key assignments and you can close it if you don't want to keep it open. Here we have the lighting effects, same thing. Here you can change the lights of the logo, or you can turn it off and whatever else. The hardware lighting is the same as happening with Harpoon, so you can choose what lighting effect you want in case iCue is closed. The DPI is similar to Harpoon, with difference here that you have, since you have 3 different hardware profiles inside the mouse, stored inside the mouse, so you can choose to change each one of those profiles, and you can choose also to those profiles to give a different color. As we can see here, for example, you can choose to give a different color. So each time you press that button underneath, you are going to change the profile and the color related to that profile, and also the settings here, because probably maybe you want to use it with a Xbox or with a PlayStation, or if you are gaming with the keyboard and mouse. So keep in mind that whatever you are changing here is going to be applied inside the presets, the hardware presets. Here we have the surface calibration, which I find it to be useful if you want to calibrate the mouse and the movement of the mouse. So let's go with some calibration. So as you can see here, calibration process is complete. Your mouse is now adjusted to the surface. In this case, I'm using a mouse pad, but if you use the mouse directly without mouse pad, I suggest you to calibrate anyway, because depending on the surface, the mouse can act differently. Let's go back to the device settings. This is similar to the Harpoon, with the only difference here that you have the onboard memory, as we can see here. So you have all the profiles, and with those profiles, you can decide what those profiles are going to do, and you can copy those profile to iCue, so those onboard memory profiles, you can replicate those settings to iCue in case you want to keep and to have the same settings, in case you want to have a consistency with the settings on the onboard memory and also on iCue. Updates for the firmware, the polling rate, and in this case we can go up to 2000 with. Alright, as we can see here, we have the calibrated lift height, so calibrated the mouse with the surface I'm using it, but you can choose one of these presets here, low, medium and high, and the button response optimization, I suggest you guys to always leave it enabled. So that's it for the settings with iCue. Here we are at the end of this side-to-side comparison. There are some differences between the Sabre Pro Wireless and the Harpoon Wireless. The first thing that you can notice here are the dimensions. The Harpoon is a claw mouse and is designed for small hand size, while the Sabre Pro is a claw palm mouse designed for medium size hands. The Harpoon has this rubber on the side, while the Sabre Pro doesn't have it, and that might influence you to the grip on the mouse. The side buttons on the Sabre Pro are well positioned and easy to use, while on the Harpoon the side buttons are small and you can accidentally press them anytime. In my use and experience, I had the sensation that the wheel of the Sabre Pro is more precise. Speaking about precision, the left and right buttons on the Sabre Pro gives me the sensation of being built with a different high quality. The Sabre Pro has a USB Type-C port for charging, while the Harpoon still uses a micro USB port, which in 2022 doesn't make too much sense, considering that also the way you connect it, it's weird. Speaking about USB connection and cables, the Sabre Pro has a drag-reduced USB cable kind of, but frankly I didn't notice any difference with other USB normal cables. The Sabre Pro has a specific button that you can use for switching between 3 hardware profiles, which are stored on the onboard memory. The Harpoon has only one hardware profile stored in the mouse itself. Now moving to the price. The Sabre Pro costs $99.99, but you can find often discounted, while the price tag for the Harpoon is $59.99. My suggestion here is to get the Sabre Pro if you find it for $79.99 or $69.99. With that you will get a really good mouse for gaming, everyday use and productivity in general. That's all for this side-to-side between Corsair Sabre Pro Wireless and Corsair Harpoon Wireless. If you guys did like the video, please leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. Thanks for watching.